Nestled in the countryside near Nappanee, Ontario, is a farm where every season brings a new reason to gather. What began as a pick-your-own orchard has grown into something far greater. From fields of sunflowers to rows of apple trees, it has become more than a place to pick produce. It's a place to make memories. And at the center of it all is a family continuing the work of generations.
I grew up on the farm my whole life and helping out and things like that, learning different trades. My father and grandfather started a small vegetable farm out on 33 Highway on the lake here. And started from there and ended up growing tomatoes that were canned over in Prince Edward County. But that closed down and they pivoted to cash crop farming. And in the 80s planted the apple orchard that Sarah and I look after now. My grandfather actually came to us one day and asked if we wanted to look after the orchard. And so we kind of took it on as like, for fun, see how it goes, but really fell in love with it.
Apples were just the beginning. Today, Wynn Farms has embraced agro-tourism, welcoming families to wander sunflower fields, pick pumpkins, and get lost in a corn maze that celebrates the best of each season. Much of that creativity came from Sarah, who brought a fresh perspective to the farm's future.
And the interesting thing, Sarah being from Peterborough, from the city, she came with a lot of new ideas, which we thought some of them were a little crazy, but in the end they proved out really good. Like a corn maze. As farmers, you wouldn't think, why would somebody want to go get lost in the cornfield? But so we started at the orchard. There's a property there, and I think first came the corn maze, and it was a big change because the public really, really liked it. And then she had this idea of doing night mazes, which again, none of us would have thought of, but people love being lost in the dark in corn, so yeah, that's even better.
From getting lost in the dark to picking your own bouquet of flowers, Wynn Farms has continued to evolve. Together, Jim and Sarah have brought diversity to the farm, extending the season and opening their fields to people who might not otherwise have the chance to enjoy a true breath of fresh air.
So when we ended up turning into apple growers back in 2012, we fell in love with not just the farming aspect of it, but the tourism aspect and being able to work with people. So we really enjoyed it, and then we just wanted to keep kind of adding on to it. I've always loved flowers, and sunflowers are beautiful. And again, when dreaming and thinking about how can you keep staff longer and employed, you look at summer months, because we already have full time with fall, so spring and summer. So the summer seems like a good idea for flowers in the summertime. So it lengthens the season and just gives other people different opportunities to enjoy different aspects of the farm.
Extending the season also means extending the hours. And on a family farm, work-life balance usually means work on the farm and then more work on the farm.
There are a lot of parts of the year that there is not a lot of work-life balance. It's a lot of work, and go. But that's just the way it is with farming realistically. And then there's going to be, a short season in the off season that we can kind of have our family time and enjoy it. But the idea is just we do our best when we can, because you never know when you're going to have a drought or frost or things like that. So you work hard when you have to.
And then there are the kids who've grown up right alongside the apples and sunflowers. Their chores look a little different than most, but the rewards do too.
That's an interesting part of farming. The kids, it's a different lifestyle. They see what their friends are doing, what they're doing. Sometimes it seems unfair, sometimes it seems great. It depends on the day. But they get a lot of responsibility early, and not much time for some of the stuff that might be not so good for your mental health. And we try to reward them. We believe that, in trying to reward them for what they do. They really, getting to experience the public too at a young age, like difficult people, but also really nice people, and kind of like balancing that out. They do a great job.
For the Wynn family, it isn't just about the work they share today. It's about the legacy of tomorrow. With 3 kids already pitching in on the farm, succession planning feels less like a question of if and more like a matter of when.
I think one of the biggest challenges with all farmers these days is the succession planning. So trying to figure out, how do you incorporate your kids? How do you, they're young now, but Abigail, she's just starting high school, we're trying to figure out what's her heart in, because we might need to pivot. Maybe she doesn't like growing strawberries. And my son Thomas, he's 11, and he seems to like livestock. So We've got a couple horses, we've got a few chickens at home, and so I think it's trying to learn what they're into, and then trying to see how we can incorporate that so that the farm can be passed on.
At the end of the day, Wynn Farms is about family, community, and the joy of opening their fields so others can share in it too. That's why they do what they do, because the harvest isn't just theirs. It belongs to everyone who walks through these rows.
What I really enjoy is some people will come and they've moved to the city or something, but they grew up on a farm. So it's kind of like they're circling back.
I hope they remember, the people they were with, the experience, hopefully sunshine and rainbows out here. But I just hope that they remember how good of a time it was and just how enjoyable the outdoors can be, especially in a world where, there's a lot of often indoor time with office work and school and things like that. Just being able to really get used to being in a fresh air, right?
For WPBS Weekly, I'm Gail Paquette.